Well, good morning and hello everyone, you beautiful people, the epic story of tomorrow. I want to make a little video, about mental health actually. Something that I suffered for a lot of years and rarely suffer now is anxiety and panic attacks. It's hard to explain in words how it feels in that moment, but I used to get anxiety with a lot of overthinking. Now, for me, what would happen with me is it wouldn't come on straight away. I would have just say I'd have a bad week, I'd have a really bad week. It wouldn't come on till the week after. I'd start not being able to breathe properly. And because of that, you start panicking about it and getting worried, and the anxiety and the worry of it, of not breathing, makes it even worse and accelerates it. So what works for me is I used to go out. I'm talking 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd wake up having anxiety attacks, and I'd go out at 3 o'clock in the morning for walks, like 2-3 mile walks, just to walk it off. And it was really bad because it used to disrupt my sleep. And it got to the stage where my sleep patterns were really out of pattern. I just couldn't get to sleep, and if I did, I would feel falling asleep in case I would start having a panic attack. And like I said, that is what anxiety comes from, fear. I had a lot going on in my life at the time, so it was obvious. It was a foregone conclusion that I was going to get anxiety. It was just how I was going to manage it, and at the time I wasn't managing it very well. There was times where I'd be on the train, and I'd be okay. And once the train started getting busy, I'd just start getting panic attacks, and I'd see me get off at, just say I was travelling to London, I'd get off at Preston, just to get my breath back, and then get back on another train to go back down to London. If I was on a bus, I'd get off 3 stops before my stop, because I feel like I couldn't breathe. And it was all to do with my thought process. I was thinking negative constantly. So what happened was, now I think for me, I've been on sertraline now since, I would say, maybe April, May time, and I think that has been a big factor. Also, when I was prescribed diazepam, but I've actually weaned myself right down off that now, which is a good thing, because diazepam can become addictive. And now I don't really get panic attacks. I don't get anxiety, because I'm actually in a good place mentally. Now, when I do get into a dark place, that is when I'm out of routine. Now, I'm going to tell you what works for me. This doesn't mean it has to work for you, but what works for me is having a routine and a structure. So I kind of like to live an army routine. I eat at the same time, I train at the same time, I go to bed at the same time, and I wake up at the same time. And for me, that works for me because it gives me a purpose. If I don't have a purpose in life, then my mind becomes lethargic and depressed. If I have nothing to look forward to, this is why sometimes I enjoyed fighting, because it gave me a purpose to train, it gave me a purpose to get up. But now, my purpose, it's not just the acting, my purpose is to get up and go to the gym, not to get big muscles, not to get the big I am and show off. It's to keep my mind happy, because I know I've found now what works for me, and what works for me is a healthy diet and a routine and training, and that really works for me. And there's not a better feeling in the world than being addicted to the gym. I was addicted to loads of substances. I was addicted to prescription drugs. I was addicted to alcohol, whiskey, vodka. And they were my go-tos when I was suffering anxiety. At the time, I would drink vodka. It would get rid of the anxiety, but it was like pouring gasoline on your anxiety, because the next day it'd be worse. So that became a bad habit, and I stopped that. And now I've become addicted to my diet and my gym. So now, I'm so OCD with everything. I'm OCD with my amino acids, I'm OCD with my creatine, I'm OCD with my protein. If you see, it's crazy, because I know it sounds mad, but it's what keeps me happy. I have all my supplements set up in order. Now that people might say that's OCD, it probably is, but I have it all set out in order. And what I do is I prep the night before. So I'll prep my breakfast for when I get up. I'll prep my protein shake and my bagel for the gym, for the morning workout. And I'll have everything structured. And that is what works for me and keeps me in a good place. Social media also used to cause me a lot of problems because I was very self-insecure. And with being very self-insecure, I would secretly want attention. I would want reassurance. So I would post pictures of myself on Facebook, wanting loads of likes. Now, some people may connect with this, some people won't. It is quite egotistic, but I was trying to feed my own ego by trying to have people like me. Because I didn't like who I was, I'd post a picture and I would get a little buzz out. I'd get 400 likes on a picture. That would be a really, really small buzz, which would last about, 10 minutes? Do you know what I mean? And social media can become like that. You can become egotistic in the fact that you're craving for likes. Because you don't love yourself, you crave for other people to like you. You know, it reassures your mind that people out there do like you and stuff like that. Where now, I'm past that stage. I don't need to do that. I don't need to get reassurance to be liked. I love who I am. I'm still improving as a man. I'm still improving in my life, but I'm getting better. You know, I'm confident in my body. I'm comfortable in my own skin. And that's very important. It's very important, especially with mental health and anxiety, because one of the biggest downfalls with mental health is people don't love themselves in the fact that they hate who they are. They're insecure about their bodies. You know, they're insecure about the way they look. And I think social media has a massive part to play in that, because Instagram, Facebook, you've got all these fitness models and women and females and men. Then you've got your reality TV shows with all these great looking people on. People think you have to look like that. So it puts people under pressure, especially teenagers and kids, to grow up wanting to look like that. Hence why people get a lot of plastic surgery. Hence why people want to dress like their idols. People look up to celebrities. And, you know, especially men who have fantastic genetics and great bodies. Young lads look up to them and say, I want to look like that. Not realising that some of these guys are probably taking juice and getting all sorts of anaesthetics, getting all sorts done to the bodies to look the way they do. Some people are genetically gifted, but you've got to understand it's about genetics, and you've got to understand that you have to create your own version of you, your own beauty. And that doesn't mean by being good looking, or create a person that you love in the fact that have a good heart, be respectful, you know, speak to people, be sociable. And these are things that I'm working on, because I used to be very insecure in myself. I used to be always putting myself down, very unsociable. That's why I call myself the lone wolf. But I'm starting to learn now that being a lone wolf isn't healthy. Sitting in a room and sitting on your own all day, it's not healthy. You know, it's peaceful, but it's not healthy. And I think that my problem comes with trusting people. But I cannot go through the rest of my life not trusting people. I have to open the gates. I have to take that risk and let someone in, because if I don't, I'm going to be a lonely old man. Do you know what I mean? So the message I'm trying to get across, guys, is I'm not trying to inspire people, but I'm trying to let people know that, yes, mental health is tough, and, you know, it is okay not to be okay. It's good. Sometimes it's good to have a bad day, because sometimes it takes them bad days to make us realise that we have to do something. You know, everyone doesn't live a glorious life. Instagram's fake. People post up what they want you to see, flash watches, flash cars, flash everything. That isn't reality. Reality is the struggles of mortgages. People are struggling with bills. People are homeless on the streets. There's kids in Africa suffering. You know, there's kids in all over the world dying. You know, there's people out there that need our help. There's our homeless. There's soldiers on the street that are homeless. That's reality. Instagram is a fake lifestyle. It's, I don't mean fake lifestyle and people living a fake lifestyle. A lot of people do have money, but a lot of people are very materialistic and will show their materialistic things on Instagram, which then people are competing with each other and trying to fight against each other, who gets the best watch, who has the best car, and that can become very unhealthy. What you'll have to do, and what I've done, is create your own version of you. Stay humble, be grounded, and do the best you can for you. Go to the gym and create a body that you're happy with. Don't look at the next guy and think, oh, I want to look like that, because you might not have the genetics to do that. And that was one of my big problems, and it ruined a lot of relationships for me, because I was very insecure about other men because I didn't feel like I looked good. Now I feel good and I know I look good. I'm happy with looking the way I am, and I'm content in my body. And that's one hurdle that I've overcame after a lot of years of self-hate. But just be the best version of you, and that's the message to you guys, is just create the best version of you. Don't compete with the person next to you, okay? Don't go out and think, oh, I've got to buy a better car than my mate, or better handbag than my friend, all that stuff. No, that's irrelevant. What's relevant is your mind. Money will never buy you a new mind. You can have all the money in the world and buy loads of flash things. Is it going to make you happy? Maybe for a little while, but you'll get bored. You'll get bored, you know what I mean? The money, £1 million is not going to buy you a new brain. So you have to look after that brain, you have to look after that mind, and take care of that mind. Wrap it in cotton wool. Be gentle with yourself. And that's my message to you guys today. God bless you.